What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video, especially making this video for the people that are new to Delta Force and are wondering what guns they should pick up and what attachments they should use on their weapons. I made a top 5 best guns in Delta Force video here with the attachments included. Hope you guys are going to enjoy. Be sure to subscribe for more Delta Force content, and I hope this video is going to be very helpful. So here we have probably the best gun in the entire game, the SCARH. At least, let's say for now, the best gun in the game. The SCARH was incredible in the alpha and it still is in the beta as well. You need to unlock the right attachments and it's a bit of a pain to play with it in the beginning because you only have the 20 round mag. But eventually you'll start unlocking better attachments for it, and especially when you unlock the drum mag or the 30 round mag, it makes a huge difference. Definitely, I would say the best gun in the game. So for the attachments, we have the combat red dot sight. Then for the stock, I use a little bit of a different one. The shadow rail stock, increasing control and handling. Again, I'm focusing much on control and handling. Because you lose a lot of that by using the drum mag. Here again, control handling with the phantom rear grip. And then we have the huge 50 round drum mag, which you unlock quite late with this gun. I think somewhere in level 50. The combat grip, increasing the control, losing a little bit of the handling, but the control gets a lot of bonus. So basically becomes a laser beam after this. On top of the precision flash suppression, increasing the control. Then for the barrel, I have the practical short barrel, increasing handling and control. Lose a little bit of stability. That stability loss you will definitely notice, unfortunately. But all the other stats, as you can see, are really good right now. I have one handling, one for control, and another one for handling. As of the sight, I don't know how you call these, handguards, the handguards. And then on top we have the Hydra Riser, which I'm using on a lot of guns because you get that increased handling and an extra slot for your laser sight, which I'm using, by the way, with the purple laser sight. And I like to use the combat red dot sight. I feel like sights in this game are very much preference. I kind of like all sights. I also like the Cobra accuracy scope. But on this one, for some reason, I just like to use the combat red sight. So these are the attachments that I use on the SCARH. So here we have the AKS-74, one of the best guns in the game that you can play right now. It's actually one of the starter weapons if I have to go by alpha. In the beta, of course, you have every gun unlocked already, but this is a gun you have unlocked right away, at least in the alpha. You could play this on medic and on assault, and they both fit very well. It's kind of a mid-range submachine gun, or a long-range submachine gun, you could say. And it works basically for any map, any type of game mode. It's a really good variable weapon on any type of map you're playing because of the low recoil, but still it kills very fast up close. So one of the best versatile weapons in the entire game. So for attachments, let's start off with the sight. We have the red dot sight that I'm using, and I have the 416 light stock. Then the AK skeleton foregrip. What's important is I went with control and handling for this gun. So it's low recoil but fast ADS. So it stays kind of in that long range submachine gun type of I guess vibe, you could say. Because it works still very well in that range. You will notice with this setup right here, it's going to have barely any recoil, but still very fast ADS speed, which you need because I put up the 75 round drum mag, which reduces handling and control. So this is kind of a counter to it, but it still works very well. Then I put the angled hand stop here, or the angled, sorry, wow, that was a mistake. The angled hand stop here for increased handling, a little bit less control. And for the barrel, the bell mouth flash hider, again, increasing that control. And then we have, so this is an interesting bit here. You need to put up the barrel. I went with the practical standard barrel. You can use the practical long barrel, but it kind of reduces the SMG type of stats of this gun. So I would recommend going with the practical standard barrel, which I put up 2 Python handguards to increase the handling on both the right and left rail. And then I put up a Hydra Riser, and on that I put up a laser sight. You can pick any color you want. I went with the right one, or the red one. So these are the attachments that I recommend for the AKS-74. Here we have the AKM, personally one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. I built a pretty much the most beamy gun setup in the entire game, I feel like. With the low recoil setup of this gun, it's not a very fast gun, but it works very well for the other map, the Ascension map. If you want to beam players off head glitches, and if you play a little bit slower, this might be the gun for you. But keep in mind, it is a little bit of a slower weapon, so you need a bit more of the defensive playstyle. The red dot sight is what I'm using because I have the Hydra Riser. You can also actually try this with a higher zoom scope. You can try one of the 3x scopes, or the one I like. I'm gonna remove this one. It is the Recon, this one. It looks a little bit weird, but using the 1.5x scope is actually very clean. But the gun looks really weird right now. But definitely try this one out. You'll actually be beaming players with this, combined with this setup. So kind of depending on what you like, either use the reflex sight that I was using, or the red dot one, or the scope that I'm using right now. And then only use the 1.5. You don't really need the 5x zoom level. Then for the stock, I have the Shadow Rail stock, increasing the control and handling, which you're going to lose with the mag that I'm using, which I'll come to in a second. Skeleton foregrip control and handling increasement. Then we have the 40 round extended, which I think is enough for this gun. You will notice the difference if I use the 70 round. Handling is -8, and you have a little bit less control. And honestly, with the 40 rounds, you're going to be fine with this gun, because you will not really get into a lot of gunfights that you're going to need this many bullets, or that you don't have time to reload, as you would maybe with SMGs when you're playing super aggressive and you need to fight off a lot of players at the same time. So I personally think 40 round mag is enough. You can also add the mag mount on this for a faster reload, basically. Then we have the angled hand stop, increasing handling, kind of trying to cancel out the handling you lose by using the 40 round mag. Now we have the Poseidon flash hider, increasing the control, making it super beamy. And then we have some handling increasements on the handguards that I'm using, the 3 handguards. And then this one is important, the Beaver long barrel combo, increasing range, muzzle control and stability, but you lose a lot of handling, really making this gun super beamy. With the not super high rate of fire, 600 rate of fire, it becomes a really good combo. I have one laser sight here equipped. And then I was using a laser sight on the Hydra Riser as well, by the way. I'm going to show that setup real quick so you know what I'm talking about. So here's a laser. And then this setup, just like this. So this is the AKM setup that I would recommend using, definitely for the more defensive playstyle. The K416 on the meta class, one of the higher rate of fire weapons in this entire game. It's a very good gun. It's a little bit of a pain to use in the beginning, just like the SCARH when you don't have a lot of attachments unlocked. It's a high rate of fire weapon, which doesn't always work on all the maps. So if you play Cracked, I think, the town map, this gun will work a lot better than the other map, the Ascension map. So for the attachments, I forgot to put a barrel here. Which barrel do I use? I use the is it this one? This one. The Poseidon barrel. Very important. Alright, so here's the full setup. It looks pretty wild. It's kind of a funny setup in my opinion, because it has 4 laser sights, which you don't necessarily need to use, but I kind of like to use it. So here for the sights, we have the XRO quick response sight. I actually really like this one for the K416. Also like the Cobra accuracy sight. I kind of switch around between these. I think I've used the Cobra sight actually a lot more. So we'll put that on there, but I like both sides. Then we have the stock, we have the light stock. The 416 light stock kind of fits with the gun. And then we have the Phantom rear grip for increased control and handling, because again we have a big fat 60 round drum mag on this gun, which is insane, but it lowers the handling quite a bit and the control quite a bit, as you can see, of the weapon. Then we have a the angled hand stop again for increased handling, which you lose a little bit with the using the drum max. So we're kind of compensating for that basically. And as you could have just seen, the Poseidon flash hider, which I forgot to put on the gun, but it's definitely the best option, increasing that control by a lot. And then we have 3 lasers, which you can equip if you use the right barrel. So I personally like to use the 416A8 barrel. I didn't really like the other ones. You can use this one. It's the short barrel, which does fit the SMG type of playstyle, but I personally really like the more range and muzzle, giving it a little bit more versatility on different maps and different playstyles. So right now the gun is also a little bit more of an assault rifle than an SMG. Then for the handguards, I all used handling, but you can also go for all control. They're both really good. So right now I have 3 times the Python handguard, but you can also use the Ranger handguard, which gives increased control. Kind of depends. If you don't like the ADS speed, go with the Python handguard because it will increase it. If you have struggling controlling the recoil, then go with the Ranger handguard and put that on 3 times because you will kind of stack the effect, of course. Then we have the Hydro Riser, on top of which I put a Riser Optic. And then we use the Cobra sight, as I've already said. And I've added another laser. The lasers are kind of memes, to be honest, but 1 laser is definitely necessary for this. So there's the K416 loadout. Now we have a gun that I don't really see being used that much, but it ended up being one of my favorite guns. If you kind of know how to play with it and you give it some time, you'll realize how insane the Ash 12 is. It's a super powerful weapon with mostly 3-shot kills. And with the right setup, you're going to be beaming players basically across the map. But also the sound of this weapon is really fun. It makes it very satisfying to get kills. But the setup is not super crazy. The only problem with this gun is it becomes really good once you have it leveled up. In the beginning, it's kind of a pain to use. So you might want to use some of those weapon tokens to unlock the attachments for the Ash 12 a little bit faster. But the setup that I'm using, and keep in mind this is a kind of a slow setup, but you're going to be killing players from any type of range you basically want. As long as you can control the recoil of this gun, because the damage is super high across range. I use that weird 1.5 to 5 times scope, and then I usually don't switch to the 5 times, I just keep it to 1.5. It's very stable, it's a nice cross scope, and very satisfying to use as well. But you're gonna notice it works very great with this gun. Then I have the Ash 12 sniper stock, increasing the control. You can also use this one if you think the ADS speed is too slow, but you kind of need to have all the control that you can possibly get on this gun, because you're gonna use that scope. And the recoil of this gun is kind of high. So you use the 30 round extended mag. Then I have the combat grip, increasing a little bit more control again, but you lose a little bit of handling. And then I have all the handguards I have to handling. But if you think the handling is fine and you play slow, try and go with the where is it? The control one, the Ranger handguard, because it makes the gun more beamy. So go with this 3 times. Make sure you stack them, and then the gun is going to be super good. Here, this one is important to unlock the high accuracy long barrel, increasing the control by a lot, and the bullet velocity with range damage. Definitely making the gun so much better than it already is. This is a huge difference. And then there's no muzzle, because these 3 muzzles are not really that good. So that's the setup that I have for the Ash 12.